Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. How is everybody doing today? I'm Melissa, Lending with Melissa, powered by Edge Home Finance. I am so glad you're taking part of your lunch break to spend with me today. If you're watching live, say hello in the comments, and if you're catching the replay, type replay so I know you stopped by. Just getting all the windows set up. I am trying Instagram today, so we'll see how that goes. And remember what I said last Wednesday. I want Wednesdays to become a place where you can ask mortgage questions you may feel embarrassed to ask anywhere else, guys. There's no silly mortgage question here. And today we're answering one that I recently had a buyer ask me. Melissa, what's the difference between interest rates and ARP? And I thought that is such a good question because you see both numbers on your mortgage paperwork, especially your loan estimate or your closing disclosures, right? And sometimes nobody really ever explains what they mean. And most of the times, I don't have buyers that ask what the difference between those are. So today, I want to explain that without the mortgage language. So let's start with the interest rate. The interest rate is basically the cost you're being charged to borrow the money. Okay. So if you're borrowing money to purchase a home, the interest rate helps you determine how much interest you'll pay and what your principal and interest payment looks like. That's the number most people pay attention to. You'll hear people say, "What rate did you get?" Or "What are rates today?" And yes, the interest rates matter, but it's not only the number I want you to be looking at. Because two loans can have the same interest rate and still cost different amounts to get the loan. That's where APR comes in. If you're just joining me, welcome. Today we're answering one of those mortgage questions people see on their loan estimate and closing disclosure on their paperwork all the time. What's the difference between your interest rate and APR? And if you have another mortgage term you've heard and don't understand, put it in the comments. I may answer it today or turn it into another Wednesday Lunch Live. Remember, there are no silly questions here. So, what does APR stand for? APR stands for annual percentage rate. But honestly, knowing what the letters stand for really doesn't help, does it? So, here's how I want you to think of it. Your interest rate tells you the interest on your money you borrowed. The APR gives you a broader look at the cost of the cost of the loan because it includes the interest rate plus certain costs associated in getting that mortgage. That's why APR is usually a little higher than the interest rate. And when buyers see that, sometimes they panic. They'll say, wait a minute, Melissa. You told me my rate was one number, but now I'm seeing a higher APR. Did my rate change? No, those are two different numbers showing you two different things. Okay, imagine you have two mortgage options. Both show the same exact number, the same exact interest rate. At first glance, you may think, well, they're the same loan. But what if one of those loans cost you significantly more upfront to get that rate? Now they don't look exactly the same anymore. APR gives you another way to look at what that difference is. But, and this is important, I don't want you choosing your mortgage based only on APR either. APR is one piece of the picture. I want you to look at your interest rate, your APR, your monthly payment, your closing cost. How much cash do you need to close? and how long you expect to keep that loan, because the cheapest option on day one isn't automatically the best option for every buyer. And this is exactly why I'm telling you guys, please ask me the questions. You are not expected to look at a mortgage disclosure and automatically understand everything on it. That's my job. If you see two numbers and think, why are these different? Ask me. If you see a fee and don't know what it is, ask me. If your payment changed and you don't understand why, ask me. I actually have buyers right now that I absolutely love working with, because if I request a document from them, or if they see something they don't understand, they'll ask me, Melissa, why do you need this? What is this? What does this mean? And I love that. I absolutely love that. I would rather you ask me 10 questions than sit at home worrying because you didn't want to bother me. You're not bothering me. You're making one of the biggest financial decisions of your life, and you deserve to understand what you're signing. And actually, that is one reason why I'm doing something special on September 8th at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. I'm hosting a free workshop called Could You Buy in 2026? Let's find out. It's happening again September 8th, 6:30 p.m. Central. And if you're sitting there thinking, Melissa, I don't even know if I'm ready to buy, or I don't know what I need to work on, or how much money do I actually need? What about my credit? What payment can I comfortably afford? Or maybe I have a million questions and I don't even know where to start. This workshop is for you. We're going to slow down the whole process. We're going to talk about what you need to know before looking at a house. We're going to talk about credit, debt, what comfortable payment, down payment options, the mortgage process, and some of those mortgage terms that nobody ever explains. And here's another thing: you don't need to know if you qualify to come. You don't even need to know if you're ready. That's the point. Come find out what your next steps could be. You'll get a free homebuyer game plan workbook, and I'm leaving time at the end for a Q&A, Ask Me Questions Live. I'll put the registration link in the comments. I'll do that right now before I forget. And if you are on TikTok, send me the word workshop and I will get this to you. There's that. Okay, let's jump back in. If you're just hopping on, we're talking about the difference between interest rate and APR. Here's the simplest way to remember it. Interest rate equals the interest on the money you borrowed. APR is a broader look at the cost of the loan, because certain loans costs are included too. And remember, APR being higher than your interest rate does not automatically mean something went wrong. Now, let's say you get two loan options. Please just don't ask which one has the lowest rate. I want you to ask, what does that rate cost me? What is my APR? What's my monthly payment? What's my closing cost? How much am I bringing to closing? Is one option giving me a credit? Is another option charging me points? And how long do I think I'll keep this mortgage? That's where the mortgage professional should help you slow down and look at the whole picture. I don't want you to throw a bunch of numbers. I don't want to throw a bunch of numbers at you and say, hey, pick one. I want you to understand those numbers, what they mean, because once you understand, you can make a better decision. Since we're talking about rates, somebody may ask, what are points? Let me explain that without mortgage language too. Think of points as money you put up front to get a lower interest rate. You're paying more up front in exchange for potentially lowering your monthly payment through a lower interest rate. But here's the question: does paying that money actually make sense for you? Let's say paying money up front saves you $30 a month. Okay. How much do you pay to save that $30? And how many months will it take you to get that upfront money back through that monthly savings, right? That's what we call a break even point. And if it's going to take years to recover that money, but you don't expect to keep that mortgage that long, we need to have a conversation. Again, it's not just about getting the lowest looking rate. It's about choosing the option that makes sense for your situation. Let me ask you guys something. Before today, did you know the difference between interest rate and APR? Put in the comments. I want to know what y'all, if you knew that. And if there's another mortgage word you've heard that you want me to explain in English, drop it in the comments too. Maybe it's closing cost, cash to close, escrow, underwriting, points, pre approval, mortgage insurance. Whatever it is, ask me. There is no silly questions here. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. And if nobody wants to admit they didn't know, that's okay. I'll tell you this: you're definitely not the only one. A lot of buyers see APR on their, like I said, it's usually on your loan estimate and closing disclosure. Um, and you have no idea why it's different from the interest rate. That's exactly why we're talking about these things on Wednesdays. I want you to understand the mortgage process, not just to go through it. So, before I go, I want to give you 3 different ways to take the next step depending on where you are. Number 1, you're still learning. Come join me September 8th at 6:30 Central Time for my free workshop. Could you buy a home in 2026? Let's find out. You'll get a workbook. We'll walk through the process together. I'm leaving time for questions. The registration is in the comments. Again, if you're on TikTok watching, send me a message with the word workshop and I'll send you the link. Number 2, you rather talk one-on-one? You can schedule a free guided clarity conversation with me. I'm going to put that in the comments as well. Guys, it's free. There is no pressure here. Not at all. We talk about where you are, where you want to be, what are your goals, and what your next steps might look like. Number 3, let's say you're ready. You're ready to actually see where you're at. Let's start with the mortgage process. Complete a secure application. And for my TikTok friends, since you can't click on my links right now, I'll make it easy. For the workshop, send me a message, workshop. If you want a clarity call, let's talk. Send me a message, let's talk. If you're ready to get started, type in application, send me the application, and I will get those links to you. These are going to be in the comments. How was y'all's Wednesday going so far? It's almost Friday, right? Almost Friday. We're almost there. Guys, I want to thank you so much for spending part of your lunch break with me. If there's one thing I want you to remember today, Don't choose a mortgage based on one number. Your interest rate matters, your APR matters, your monthly payment matters, but most importantly, understanding what you're agreeing to matters. You're not supposed to already know mortgage language. That's my job. Your job is to ask questions. My job is to explain the answers in plain English and help you make a decision you feel comfortable with. And one more reminder before I go: September 8th, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. If you've been watching my lives thinking, okay, Melissa, but what does all this mean for me? Come to the workshop, bring your questions, grab your workbook, and let's start building your homebuyer game plan. If you're not already following me, I'd love for you to stay connected. I'm live every Wednesday at 11:30 for Wednesday Lunch Lives and every Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. And remember, there are no silly questions here. Ask the questions, understand your options, then make a decision that works for you. Again, I'm Melissa, Lending with Melissa, powered by Edge. Have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday, and I'll see you Sunday morning. I'm going to put my links to Facebook, TikTok, all the social medias, so you have them, so that you have no reason not to follow. I have so many videos out there explaining all types of mortgage questions, and just, guys, there is so much information out there. Follow me, subscribe, like. Thank you so much again for spending part of your lunch break with me. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you Sunday morning.